Hello. Today, with all the new Mesa hype, with the new skin out, I've gotten a lot of requests from like clanmates and people about the build of Mesa, and I've been working on this build for a long time, mostly because I'm not really a Mesa main, but I wanted something like at the level of like Equinox and Korra for like execution. That's basically my expectations. Is like if your frame is like not as good as like these really fast high tier builds that are just like smoking the meta, like in competitive like execution basically, speed runs. Mesa does have a place, and I rank her at B tier right now with this build, and I'll basically go over it right now. The start here, you don't have to use these. This is more for like long-term survival, um, something like that. Like if you want to play a survival mission, I actually choose Mesa, and I think it's fun. Um, Play for 5 minutes and just mess around and have some fun. If you want to use her for something else, I would say parkour. Like 2 parkours here, and then maybe 1 starting energy. And then maybe even get rid of the corrosive stacks and go for something like secondary crit reds instead. Or just, some people say all secondary crit reds, or all secondary crit oranges, which are a little bit stronger. But definitely help nourish on your 1. And we're going to go to the build here now. This build is a mix between efficiency and sustainability. So the whole idea here is to get the most amount of damage, efficiency, and speed and survival all at the same time. Mostly speed is kind of like the option here. Is like you have a lot of things to worry about as Mesa, because you have to keep up your 1, 2, 3, and ideally your 4 in order to play Mesa correctly. And what I found here is with Pet activating Archon Stretch and Energy Nexus, you have enough energy to basically always keep up 1, 2, and 3. And then for the majority of time, you're almost always in Peacemaker. So you don't really have to worry about, running out of energy. With catalyzing shields as your only defensive mod, that kind of puts you at a really bad place. But I'll pick that up later and show you why it works as your only defensive mod. Combat discipline and arcane agility is a common tactic in order to basically get 2 or more, or roughly around 2 Archon shards of parkour velocity in 2 cards, in 2 mods. This is great when your frame wants to use Archon shards, and my frame does want to use Archon shards. When I run into something tanky, I want the corrosive plus corrosives to remove all of its armor. When I run into, just anything at all, I want these topaz shards for more damage, right? So I consider this frame high use on Archon shards. Arcane velocity for obvious reasons, extra damage. And all of these other cards are basically just for obvious reasons, like very good, very good. Yes, yes, yes. You could get rid of Augur, but you probably want to keep your Augur. Look how I have 3 Augurs. 120% of energy spent on abilities is converted to shields. You really only need 1 Augur, so you can remove this Augur here and basically put in whatever you want. That's up to you. Mesa Waltz is pretty much the only option for your Exilus. The whole point of this build is to combo all of these abilities with Peacemaker and the ability to roll. And roll basically multiplies off of dodge speed and parkour velocity. So with 60% parkour velocity and then dodge speed from your epitaph, you basically have more than enough of what you need to get around the map. And these are where your other augurs are coming from as well. So this is basically a stat stick. You can run basically any stat stick you want. It doesn't really matter, and all the secondary weapons are basically all. It doesn't matter. Um, if you know of a trick to use whatever you're going to use, a primer or like a different kind of stat stick, that's all that really matters. For your primer, you probably want a downtime weapon, something that's going to be decent at clearing whatever kind of content you're going to be going into. So for me, I expect to go into survival, so there's going to be lots of enemies around. I went with a Sobek because of acid shells. Acid shells dumps the AoE. Note that this isn't a stat stick of any kind. This is just strictly AoE damage. We're just using a general slam Praetos. Now here's where some of the movement speed comes from. Is when you aren't in your 4, you can use this build to actually do kill level damage at Steel Path. This will actually kill. You're looking for like crit chance on your Riven. Other than that, like damage, crit chance with something useless, like combo duration right there is pretty much useless. You're just going to slam. Reflex is going to give you initial combo. You don't even need to hold it. Like, initial combo lasts 20 seconds. So you're pretty much always going to have like 5 initial combo, which is 5 times damage, which is just fine. With a build like this, though, you're looking for Dispatch Overdrive. You really want this. You want a heaviest slam onto the ground. Get the 60% movement speed. That'll help you out a little bit. And the moment y'all been waiting for is the regulators. The regulators are made very specifically like this. You can change secondary encumber to basically, preferably not innervate with this build. If you run red, you don't run innervate, but you can run like Fortifier. It gives you 8 times damage on overguarded. You can run Flare. You can basically run all kinds of all kinds of these other options. It doesn't really matter, but Encumber seems to be the best to me because like you only have an 18% status chance with this damage focused build in the first place, right? But you're also running corrosive and heat. So because you shoot so much, you're looking at 23 and 2.7 multi-shot. It doesn't really matter because you're still going to get all of these status chances. You're going to get those heat procs. You're going to get those corrosive stacks regardless, that which you're Archon sharding for anyway, right? So you're going to max out these Archon shards in no time. And then you're going to max out the corrosive stacks in no time on anything that's tanky that lives. Then the next most important thing is this pet here. You're basically running it just like this. You do want to have a manifold bond. You want to have a tenacious bond. Everything else kind of doesn't really matter. Except for obviously the utility things and the arc coil. You know, like you're going to want vacuum, you're going to want instincts just to see where the enemies are. And you know, you do want to, this is probably the ideal build, minus like these 4 right here are kind of like, or these 3, not this 4. This is mandatory, this is mandatory. These are big, these are big, this is big, this is big, this is big. Vacuum's kind of needed. Vacuum will save you a lot of time, so don't try and skip vacuum. I try and skip vacuum on one of my mains, and it ruins a lot of time. It wastes a lot of time going back to it. But for the weapon here, we're running a crit chance Riven on the Vergalas. If you don't have crit chance, you can't get 50% or higher crit chance on this weapon. This is the best weapon. It's a beam weapon that does lots and lots of status chance, so it's really good as your primer. Everything will be primed nice and well. Everything will be shocked nice and well with this. So when you go into a mission, and we'll do a mission here real quick. it should play out like this. You open up with Tenno,
These foes deserve your respect.
double void dash into your 1, 2, and 3.
With your victory.
Void Fishers. You need them to open a relic, but are you confident you can withstand their fury? A Fisher. Defend yourself and use reactant to open relics. Use that reactant to open a relic.
Was on target. Again.
Keep fighting. Look for more reactant. Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching. Well done, Tenno. Your relic is opened.
If you ever get low on energy, you don't have to worry because you can just leave Peacemaker stance.
Successful mission. Find extraction.
To get your energy back, it should go back up. On-call crew saves you in the entry when you need to get ramp up, because I didn't do max energy on spawn because I'm not running a execution build, but this doubles as an execution build as well though. Even though that I'm considering this more of like a survival defense build, long-term build, it does double as an execution. It's just a little bit off for execution. You like I said, you would run like double parkour velocity and max energy on spawn.
You have learned here will serve you.
And then it would be like a fully committed execution build instead. So it's a little bit like what do you want more? What do you want to invest into more? Anyway, there's my build for Mesa Prime in the newer patches here. Have a good day. Bless you. Omgbomber out.